Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly Stevens. I'm the author of the 10UN Academy series, and this is English Nerd. So in the series about creating realistic and compelling characters, I wanted to talk about creating a diverse cast. Now, I am not the most diverse writer out there, so I know if you're looking at me and you're thinking, but you're white and you're straight. Yes, those things are both true, but these are the things that I have learned about creating more diverse characters, not only in one way, racially or sexually, but in general, how to create a diverse cast of characters that seem incredibly distinct and don't fall into any kind of negative stereotype. At least that's what I aim for in my stories. Here are the things that I've learned, and I hope that these are helpful for you. If they are not, then you can of course go to more diverse writers than I am, who are more adept at this kind of thing. But I feel like I do have some insights, and so I'm going to share those. The first thing that has helped me to kind of understand how to incorporate diversity into my writing is the silhouette test. The silhouette test, this is a term that I heard on the podcast Writing Excuses, which I would highly, highly recommend. They are about 15-minute segments that have a panel of writers, often with guest speakers, and they cover a huge range of how to write, how to create magic systems, how to advertise, everything. And it's fascinating, the insights that they give. And so anyway, this term, the silhouette test, comes from them, so props to Writing Excuses. The idea of the silhouette test is, can you look at a cast of characters and tell who they are as though they were just a silhouette? So this idea, I guess, comes from even before Writing Excuses, the more like movies and art, characters like that. So if you think of a Disney movie, for example, and you have just the silhouettes of the main characters, Monsters, Inc., you can tell immediately that they are not the same, and you can tell who they are. You think about Indiana Jones, and if you just line everybody up, who are they? Where's Indy? There he is. So the idea in writing is, could you line up your characters and would they look, act, and think the same? Or are they incredibly distinct? Would you be able to say, oh, okay, no, this person looks like this person looks like this person looks like this person thinks like that, this person thinks like this over here? It should be clear both from their look and all of that they're distinct, and it should be clear from their voice as well. This is something that writers have the opportunity to do. So I have a multi-POV story with the 10UN Academy series. The first two books are 2 points of view, and the third one is multiple points of view. And it should be pretty clear within the first few sentences whose perspective this is from, even without the headings that tell you whose chapter it is. And so the silhouette test is just something that you can do as a check for yourself. Think about the cast of characters in your story and think, do they look the same? Do they act the same? Or are they distinct enough that just at a stroke you can tell that they're different? So there's thing number one. Okay, kind of tip number two is, what do you do if you find yourself falling into some kind of stereotype? So first of all, I want to say that everybody falls into some stereotype at some point, positive, negative, or indifferent. So if you notice this in your own writing, I don't want you to beat yourself up. What I want you to do is think, okay, how can I make this character a person instead of a cardboard cutout that perpetuates some stereotype about a group of people? This is not to say that you can't have grumpy old men, girly girls. there are reasons why certain stereotypes are in place. What you don't want is for that to be the only thing about them. Instead, you want to flesh out these people and make sure that they really seem real. I feel like writers have this unique ability to be empathetic even with characters that might not be as sympathetic as we might think. So one thing that I've noticed with this generation, the young generation of writers, is that they tend to think, no, I don't have any biases because I'm open-minded about race and sexual identity. Great, good. I'm so glad that you are peeling yourself away from some of those negative stereotypes that have gone along with those groups of people. However, that is not to say that you are without biases. Think about Karens for a second. There is a very, very negative stereotype attached to the type of person who is called a Karen. Is there a reason? Yes, I think we all know those, let me talk to the manager, haircut ladies. But your job as a writer, I feel, is partially to lend humanity, not lend humanity, but reveal humanity in groups of people that do not always get the benefit of that doubt. So you can have a character that is a Karen, but when you see yourself falling into a stereotype, and that is a stereotype, one thing that you can do to break yourself out of that, or to make the character more of a complete human, is by taking the basic building blocks of characterization, description, speaking, thought, and action, and take one thing in each category and make it go against that stereotype. The whole character doesn't need to buck the stereotype, but think about a Karen. Let's take action for a moment. There are actions that we expect that type of person to do, to take back their order and be all angry and get the new one. But I want you to think of some action like, once when this person was 18, she had the opportunity to wrestle an alligator, and she thought in her youth that she was going to become some animal wrangler. The crocodile hunter was her hero. That doesn't change everything about how she acts now, but it adds some humanity, like, oh, well, that's not what I expected. And it's those little moments that are going to ensure that you don't perpetuate something that is only and purely negative, to a degree that it becomes dehumanizing. So should you look at some of that behavior and go, oh, it's perfectly fine? No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, let's never dehumanize any group of people to the point that they don't seem like they're people. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I know I've ranted for a while, but this is one of my many soapbox kind of situations. So this goes, of course, for more than just that stereotype. If you find yourself with a mostly white cast just because you are white, for example, then don't feel terrible about it. Instead, educate yourself and start matching up with the silhouette test and using that method to break out of stereotypes, and you should be on your way. Kind of my last tip for this is to get the opinion of people who actually who are different from you, especially if you're writing from the perspective of somebody who is a different race or identity or what have you. It's a good idea to get a beta reader or a sensitivity reader. You can get those just to make sure that you're not unintentionally perpetuating something that you don't want to. So those are the things that I have learned about creating a diverse cast. Hopefully these tips were helpful for you. Again, if you don't really want to hear this from me because I'm not a particularly diverse writer, I understand, go elsewhere, but these have really been helpful tips for me. All right, like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe for more English nerdy goodness, and I will see you on Monday.